Hi, I'm Megan Bushhausen, and you're watching Notes from the Dev Video Edition. Hello, and welcome back to Notes from the Dev. I am Megan, your host, and today I have an amazing email developer and accessibility advocate, Najee Bartley. I've seen her speak on accessibility. The way she comes at this is incredible, and from a perspective that I have not seen a single other person come to accessibility. So I am so excited to have her on today. Hello, Najee. How are you?
Hello, Megan. I am so happy and so thankful and honored that you have asked me to come on and join you today. Hello, and how are you doing today?
I am doing great and am pumped and excited to see what you have to show us. So let's get everything going and
Absolutely.
learn about some screen reader stuff in particular.
Welcome to Emails for All, a talk about accessibility and diversity in email marketing communications. I am your speaker, Najee Bartley, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about accessibility. So a little bit about me. I'm Najee Bartley. I am a Salesforce Marketing Cloud email developer as well as Cloud Page developer. I do some consulting, but mostly I am a marketing champion, and I run and support the MC boot camps with my co-partner Jathna. And I am also the Atlanta SFMC co-leader. And of course, my favorite thing to say about myself is that I am, in fact, a accessibility and DEI enthusiast. So if it's about accessibility, I'm probably going to be there. So accessibility and diversity go hand in hand when it comes to creating successful marketing campaigns. Accessibility really just meaning just making it and creating opportunities for those who have different experiences with whether it be cognitive, physical, auditorial, or visual differences, and ensuring or doing our best to ensure that they experience technology in the best way possible. Being with diversity, acknowledging that people have differences and ensuring that they still feel valued and seen and accepted for those differences. So, it's extremely important to have those. So let's talk about accessibility. 15% of the world has a disability of some sort, whether it again is physical, cognitive, motor, visual, or auditory. With a very large amount of people being visually impaired. So when we talk about that in that number of 15%, like what are we saying? We're saying that in the US, that's about 328 million people that have some form of a disability. And that's extremely important to know, because if that's just what the number is in the US, you have got to know that it is literally like 2.4 billion people in this in the whole world who have some form of a disability. So I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a scenario, right? And I want you guys to just tell me what you think. So just imagine for a bit that we're back in the COVID times and we have to do all of our shopping online. And when we decide to go shopping online, we ourselves, we're going to put ourselves in the shoes of our visibly impaired community members. So say we are not blessed with the vision of sight. And so when we're shopping, because we can't go into the stores anymore because stores are closed. So now we're going to have to shop online. This is what you hear.
Now in audio recording window. Show capture device. Chrome. Alarm clock. Final HRS $5 one day shipping alarm clock. Najee.taylor89@gmail.com. Gmail system. Print all button. Group not important image. Inbox button. Remove label button. 2 items. Link. Unsubscribe. Not starred. Reply button. More. Show details. Link. Image. Chrome has new window. Link. NEW. Link. Dresses. Link. Tops. Link. Jeans. Link. Lingerie. Link. Shoes. Link. Image. Link. Email. You are currently on a link. Unlabeled image. Visited. Unlabeled image. Unlabeled image. Select QuickTime Play.
So how much are you going to spend? How
I
much
can
money are
I
you going
cannot believe all those unlabeled images. I'm like, what is going
exactly?
on here? When listening to this, I remember the first time I heard this, I was like, what is going on here?
It's
Like, how
serious.
does someone shop with that?
And it's crazy. You're not going to spend a dime. And the crazy thing is, this particular person, I am not going to say who this brand is. They are a very, very popular brand of clothing. Now,
Mhm.
I don't know. Not only did you hear the statement of image unknown, you keep hearing that unlabeled image, unlabeled image, unlabeled image. We're clearly seeing that there was no alt text there.
Yeah.
But you also heard the words NEW, because the words in the alt text were all caps. So it read them as it read them as NEW, not new.
Not
And then
new.
but you did hear some of them say jeans. You heard
Mhm.
dresses. So you were able to hear some words. And then you heard link. But what is the link to? There
Right.
was so much unknown. Well, guess what? 15% of your email list are going to be experiencing emails just like that. And they're unable to read your emails. And we have to see this as a problem and try to fix it. So now, I conducted a study in 2020 during the pandemic because I really was curious, like, what are people doing, especially the visibly impaired community? Like, what are they doing about this? How are they feeling? And they were happy to give their input, and they said, "This is miserable. This is crazy." And I said, "Okay, well, how do you feel about your email marketing campaigns?" And they said, "Emails lack integrity." So much so that if you guys can look in this chart here, in 2017, there was lawsuits for accessibility, but look at what happened when COVID hit. They increased by 12 and 14%. You can see a humongous increase in in all of the lawsuits that people are having from their websites to their marketing communications being unaccessible. So yes, people are feeling like your email campaigns are something that they just can't trust. Their emails are lacking integrity. But what does that mean? How can an email lack integrity? Well, before we get into that point, let's talk about why this matters at all. Why does this matter to us? This matters because email marketing has a return on investment of 4,200%. So that means for every for every $1 that we spend on emails, we're generating a revenue of about $42. This is extremely important. These numbers have gone up because it was I think it was 36 per
I
$36 per
saw
email.
36 to 42 get
Yeah, it was
quoted, that
36.
range. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 36 a few years ago and it's gone up to 32. So it's increasing. Like, emails really do matter. Emails have gone up from 64% to 89% with their business use in the email marketing. And 4.2 billion people use emails. Now, if you guys remember, how many people are there in the world? There is roughly about there's a pretty like 7 billion people in the world. So that's almost half of the people in the world use emails. Though, if you guys remember from the very beginning when I talked to you guys about how many people in the world have a disability, remember I said somewhere around that 2 billion? There's a pretty big amount of people who are unable to really use emails. And that's something that we have to fix. Why are we having to fix this? Because emails are a gateway to consumer buying power with a potential loss of $2 trillion a year because we are unable to communicate with our visibly impaired community. Their spending dollars matter too. It's not just those who have visible and auditory abilities, it's everyone. And when we see their problems as our problems, we will start to make change. So, what are the challenges? Well, when I asked people what challenges they were facing, they said, well, the subject lines. We really don't know we're opening. You know, the images, they're not descriptive enough. Okay, it's nice that you said red shirt, but is it a cotton red shirt? Is it a silk red shirt? HTML, the screen reader is really struggling to read the emails. It doesn't know what's most important. It is completely unorganized. And the buttons are difficult to read for both the screen readers and those who are low visual consumers. The buttons are matching too closely to the background colors. These are the challenges that we are facing the most. So let's give our customers a voice and let them talk to you. So one of the visually impaired interviewees was named Barry Jacobs, and he said, "If I could give you some advice, what would I? This is what I would tell you." He said, "Label buttons with alt text and descriptions on discounts being offered." He says, "Sometimes I get emails that say 50% off, and I'm left sitting there thinking, 50% off of what? I have to click on a link to find out? That's misleading to someone who's visibly impaired." I know for us, our marketing teams are saying, "Oh my gosh, this is really creative." But for him, he's like, "Oh my God, it's another button I got to click." And then this is Danielle Jackson. She also was one of my interviewees, and this is what she said.
As a blind person, when I read my emails, and especially when it's like a solicitation email from a business, I really want to know that the company actually cares about me from the very beginning, like knowing that the pictures have captions in it. It's so important to me. Also, knowing that their website is friendly to people with visual disabilities, meaning it's easy to use my screen reader. It doesn't take forever to read down the page. Everything, is kind of in an orderly fashion. All of those things just make it so much easier for me. And I think Amazon ends up getting most of my money because they've got the best technology out. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate thoughtfulness when people think, oh, my consumers could be somebody who is disabled. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
So that's just from her. That's her voice. And that's from Danielle. So what steps can we take to remedy some of these issues? Let's be real clear and to the point with our subject lines and pre-headers. So no more got the best deals are right inside. No. How about we say the best deals on shoes and dresses are one click away from this email or something? Like, what are we getting deals on? Instead of having a pre-header that says 50% off the summer sale. Okay, 50% off of what though? What are we getting 50% off on? Like, give us more details and give it to us kind of like straight and to the point. Use semantic HTML tags. That's like a big one. Like, semantic HTML tags really help to structure your email and let the screen reader know what is the priority of the emails. And that's great because that screen reader is going to know what's most important. And then it's going to read things out clearly. And then it's going to sound a lot cleaner for those who are, in fact, reading these emails. Alt text on all images, not just the big ones with the pretty pictures. Put an alt text on an icon. Listen, I always say this, and everyone has heard me say it a million times. Treat alt text like you treat it like seasoning on chicken. Put it on everything. You have to put alt text on every single piece of the food, or something's going to taste bland. Buttons, big buttons, at least 45 pixels width and 45 pixels height. That is literally the size of your thumb. If you hold your thumb up, if you hold it up, and then if you hold it to the side, that is 45 pixels. Make your buttons as big as possible and span the buttons to 100% on mobile devices. Like, there should be no way they weren't able to see that CTA. And last but not least, with paragraphs, if you're going to have a link inside of a paragraph, you must underline it because nobody can tell that that's actually a link. Underline it, maybe bold it if you need to. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily bold it in a paragraph. That's something I wouldn't do, but I would definitely underline it and change the color of the word so that they know that this is in fact a link. And ARIA labels on buttons and images. In images, they act as a wonderful second description. Use them. Use ARIA labels to help users for read buttons better. For instance, if you have a circular button, a check button, uncheck button, like if you put that ARIA label in, say, like check button, uncheck button, or if you say like multiple choice button, and then that lets people know, okay, this is actually multiple choice button. Like, use your ARIA labels. And they're really, really good for more description on images. Now, give this code a try. And here's some of it. So for instance, another important thing, go back. Use role equals presentation, guys. It really helps the screen reader to read the semantic code a lot easier. And that's something you want to do. And be very cognizant of the background colors. If your background color matches a little too closely to the font or the words, it may be difficult for someone to read it. So just be really, really cognizant of these type of things. Use your headers. These are really important. Use some heading tags. Make sure your images have an alt text, but also make sure it has an ARIA label as well. Use those paragraph tags. Use those list items. Like, just think that you have a family member who is visually impaired, but you also they're a rich family member, and you really want them to buy your products. Make it so that this is very plain to them. Now, listen to this. This is when it's done right.
Chrome. Link image. Open table. Diner's Choice Best Overall. Link image group. Visited link image. Diner's Choice Best Overall. You don't have to take it from us. These spots were handpicked by diners like you. Reserve a table and then rest easy. You're in the best of hands. Link group. Link. You don't have to take it from us. These spots were handpicked by diners like you. Reserve a table and then rest easy. You're in the best of hands. See Diner's Picks. Link group. Link. See Diner's Picks. Mobile phone floating in hand with open table app open. Link image. And one more item. Group. Mobile phone link image. Mobile phone floating in hand with open.
Mobile phone floating in hand. Like, you can totally imagine that. So that is how you can do it. So let's talk about other solutions. If you want to really, really solve this issue, why not consider hiring people who are in fact visibly impaired? Not only do they use these tools every day to go through emails, they have a 62% higher advance and proficiency in tools like JAWS and screen readers. So why not hire them and give them opportunities to build revenue for their own families? Hire those who are visibly impaired. Also, utilize your testing tools, guys. We have JAWS, we have ACTS. Utilize testing tools so that it can better help you to understand what issues you may be having and what could be done better to ensure that your email campaigns are more accessible. And I have one more really, really good idea. For an email like this, it doesn't hurt to put a little button at the top, like this little guy here, putting this button at the top of the email that with someone like you or me reading the full email to them. That way, they don't have to keep hitting the shift button to see the next image, words. Take all the hard work out of their experience. Allow there to be a button at the top that reads the full email and says, if you're interested, press the tab button and click on the link. That takes a lot of the work out of it. It gives them more of a personal experience, and it allows for you, the company or the marketer, to tell your story your way, because you control the tone of the reader's voice. So you could say, Diner's Choice, you don't have to take it from us. These spots were handpicked by diners like you. Reserve a table and rest easy. You're in the best hands. If you want to reserve a table, click on the next button or press tab and select the link. And boom, you now control the narrative of the story that you want to try to send your consumers. And they don't have to hit the select button so many times, because the visually impaired community, they hit the tab button over 20 times per email, guys, just to get through one email. It's almost exhausting for them. Let's try to fix that. So now here are some resources for you guys to take a look at how we can better make it easier in this, make the world a little bit easier for our visually impaired community members. And that's pretty much it for me.
That was amazing, obviously.
I'm a little bit.
I know, and I love it. And I feel like just hearing an email done poorly and hearing an email done well with the alt text and ARIA labels and all that, it's just such a difference. And I mean, I am also really big on accessibility, and the screen reader stuff is still something that I don't know as much about. I come from everything from very much a cognitive visual perspective from my own life experiences of having trouble sometimes processing visuals and audio and that sort of thing. So I really appreciate the other perspective of people who do not have the gift of sight and the things that we can do to make it better. I know it can seem really overwhelming. I'm sure there are some people watching this being like, oh my gosh, where do I even start on this? This is overwhelming. Start on the EOA website. We have lots of articles there. Do what you can with the tools that you have. I know there are some things that we can control and some things that we can't, depending on ESP and staffing and all that jazz. And stay curious, keep learning, and bake that accessibility into your email culture. I think that's always really important. So with all of that, Naji, where can we find you online so people can stay up to date with everything that you're up to? Because you're all over the place all the time talking accessibility.
I am obsessed with accessibility and also diversity. But you can catch me on LinkedIn. You can also catch me on Twitter at Miss MRS_Najee NAJEE. You can also I will put some in my. I think I can share this PowerPoint with you, right? Because I have all the contact information there too. So you guys can feel free to always contact me. I do some consulting on the side where I really literally just audit your email campaigns for accessibility. So if you guys are ever like, hey, I'm just not sure, like, don't hesitate to reach out because I love doing this. Like, I get teary-eyed when people don't put alt text in their stuff. I'm just like, how dare you? So it's a big deal, and I'm very glad that I got the opportunity to tell you guys just how much I love this and helping others. So hopefully this will create change and take action to make things a lot easier for everyone and inclusive for everyone.
Yes. Yes. We always aim to become better and make things more inclusive. That is the goal always. So thank you for watching Notes from the Dev. That's it from us today. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, do all the things so that this episode and other episodes can get everywhere. And we will see you next time.
See you guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.